Happy week. Happy Sunday. We're here. We made it to the end of one and we're already starting a new one. Wanted to do the weekend oracle card reading, but first I'll catch you up on some suspenseful stories. I know we've all been on the edge of our seat waiting to hear like what happened with the popcorn. So if you don't already know our little inside story from, I guess, yesterday, I had manifested some like random package of popcorn, and there's a backstory of how it manifested so randomly and with ease, but it just showed up on my doorstep, and it's like this like Garrett's gourmet popcorn from Chicago. It's like famous popcorn. So I'm like, I have no idea how I get this package or why it's there. And I also have this like memory in the back of my mind that there are people that like case single women and like mark their house or like their cars to like follow them and then like kidnap them, right? So anytime there's something like strange or askew, I'm like, am I being watched or am I being followed? And so I was like, what's up with the box of popcorn? Like, are they like casing me to see if I take it inside? So I ended up opening the popcorn because it was addressed to Lindsay Taylor, not Liz Taylor, but it was the right address. So I was like, well, I mean, I'm not going to take this back to UPS. So I'm just going to see what it is inside. So it sure enough was a big tin of like cheddar and caramel popcorn, and it's nice and fresh. It's really good, but very quality, primo. But the note inside was from like, it was like a wrap gift from American Idol when I worked on American Idol, and they call me Lindsay. My service was like so cherished by them, and I'm like, I'll take it, thank you. So yeah, so I had manifested popcorn, didn't know where it came from. It was like a very delayed like wrap gift for American Idol. And then there was something else. So I went out to my car today to go to work, and now I'm gonna sound like totally paranoid and like a raving lunatic. But I'm walking towards my car, and I have on my driver's side, my hubcap flew off like 2 days after I bought that car. So it's one of those where I have like 3 hubcaps and one like all rusty, like nasty looking wheel. And I'm walking up to my car, and I see this like spot that I'd never seen before. And it's like this glaring, like light blue, what it looks like a paint spot coming off my wheel, and I never noticed it, but now that I'm seeing it, it looks so obvious. And I was like, oh my God, it's happening. I've accidentally manifested this. Someone really is marking my car, following me. So I texted a guy friend and asked him, like, talk me off this ledge, because I'm like convinced. I'm so paranoid. I had to go in to get a Sharpie and like color it over. And he was like, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. And he does some sleuthing. And as it turns out, there was like this whole subreddit like discussion about Nissans having like a light blue dot on the wheels. And I guess I just never noticed it. So everything's fine. I'm not going to be a hostage. I'm very excited. I feel a new sense of freedom. I had a new lease on life when we got to work. And then we got to jam to like really good 90s rap when we were doing our mise en place. So it's been a good day. But with no further ado, let us get to the reading. You guys know I love using Oracle of Oddities by Claire Goodchild, editions 1, 2, and 3 combined. All right. Now I always pick 4 cards. They tell a story together from this deck. And we'll see what comes out for us. What do we need to know for our highest good this week? What do we need to be aware of to avoid the pitfalls? What do we need to take advantage of? This is very exciting. Oh my goodness. We have Awaken. Our second card is Fire. I love this continuing theme of the sunflowers, which reminds me of the Sun card in the tarot, which is always like a resounding whatever you ask about. It's like yes, like the naked baby, feeling good, you have a new lease on life, you've been reborn. So we have this awakening and this resurgence of passion and fire. This really gives me those Ace of Wand vibes here. So this is a renewed sense of passion. This is a new feeling of self-esteem and self-confidence and rigor for life and vitality and life force. And so we are awakening a new level of consciousness here. The moon, we draw so much energy and influence on the moon because like drawing energy directly from the sun is almost too much. It's like when we talk about receiving too much light, and then if we haven't built the vessel, it becomes chaotic. And so the moon is sort of a way that we can receive light. And like, it's so funny because in spirituality, there's so many layers of reality going on that each layer mirrors the other one, right? So when we talk about the sun and the moon and receiving light from them, yes, we're speaking literally, but it's also symbolic, and it also like is true for the spiritual meaning of it as well. So the moon is like a protective shield, so it can take all that light of the sun and then reflect, and it gives us something that we can conceptualize. So the sun is actually associated with that Christ level of consciousness, which is one level up. Well, it depends on which route you're going. Long story, insider baseball, but just take my word for it. In the central column, we have our earthly consciousness, which is referred to as Malchut. This is the bride of Christ that you hear about in biblical speak. So we are earthly consciousness. We are 3D, right? So then we go up to the astral level of consciousness ruled by the moon. This is where the sun, what's above that, which is Tiferet, which is the Christ center associated with the sun. So that is the next higher up in the central column of consciousness. So it's like these levels of we have our earthly level. This is the day-to-day person's level, right? And then we go up to the realm of Yesod, which is the moon, which is a reflection of that higher level of consciousness. But it's that in between. So this moon realm, this is where the dream realm comes in. This is the astral realm. This is psychic. This is the influence of the stars and astrology and how that affects us. So when we see this moon and the awakening, we are awakening a level of consciousness that has previously been hidden to us. And I think that it's somewhere in between this level of astral and even beyond, even transcending into that, on our way to that Christ level consciousness, where it's not just that we have intuitive insight, but we have wisdom and understanding and compassion that we can apply to the context of understanding the downloads that we are receiving. So awakening consciousness, awakening a new sense of drive, ambition, inspiration, passion, self-esteem, self-awareness, knowing oneself, understanding oneself, and just in general, awakening of a moxie and a zest for life. All right, so those, I love those. They really, really go well together. Let's see what our other two cards are for the week. So far, I'm really excited. It's gonna be a good one. Gonna be a goodie. Ooh, yay, love. I love this. So, the more we're awakening this passion, the more we're surrounding ourselves with the life that we love. We're doing what we love. We're putting love in what we do. And we're surrounded by people that we love. Like tonight at work, I was just having so much fun with everybody. And even old grouchy person, who's always trying to be like so dry, like Mr. Colin Firth, like Mr. Darcy, like even he didn't bother me. He never does. But I just love everybody, and it was a good night. It was a good time. But I think that, the happier you are, and when you've got the spirit awakening within you, it's just like you feel like in love with life again, and you follow that, and you keep following that. So we want to follow our joy and our bliss, and we want to do things that we can put our heart into, our heart and soul into, and put love in what we do. And if there's no love in it, then we ain't got time for that. Not anymore. Not in the kind of world we're living in these days. So save your energy for what you love, and what you don't love, you can start pruning it out of your life. Unless, I say these things because you can't cover everything in every video, but I will say that sometimes we do have to do things that we don't feel like, because we live in a world and we're adults, and we need to be able to put ourselves out to help others sometimes, and make sacrifices and do things we don't necessarily feel like. So it's always a balance. You have to use discernment, you have to use wisdom, but you don't have to keep like something in your life full time that you hate doing that's not like necessary, okay? Like if you're taking care of a sick loved one, that might not be fun, but that's something you have to keep doing. But if you are, let's say, continuing to go to trivia night, but like you just don't want to do it anymore because you're like tired of drinking so much, like you don't have to do that anymore, that kind of thing, right? If you hate your job, find a new job. And a lot of people are always asking, like anytime I'm listening to a podcast and people are asking like, how do I leave the job that I hate and follow my passion? Or how do I, like, what do? I need to just pay the bills still. And I think people get really wound up because they think that if they have a passion, they have to completely quit their job and follow the passion and make them a full-time living. And that's just too much pressure, and it's not realistic because things take time to build. So keep the job that you hate, look for a job that you like, and when you find a job that you like, then you can quit the job that you hate. You don't have to be unemployed ever. If you're starting a business of your own, get a simplified job where you have like consistent cash coming in so you don't have to worry about your needs, and you don't have to put all that pressure on your like little creative baby. You don't expect the baby to take care of you. You're taking care of the baby. You know what I mean? So don't put so much pressure on yourself, and make sure that you're always taken care of financially. And nobody's out there saying anything about it. Like there's no wrong way to do it. So keep the job that you have, look for a job that you like. And if you have a business that you're starting, like get a really easy job that's not stressful, but you get paid for enough to like get your bills so that you can like put all your energy and focus into what you love that you're building. All right. And last card. Ooh, last card for love. Embrace. Oh, I just throw it at you. Embrace. I love it. It's just a happy week. It's like embrace life, embrace love. Love is life. I love life. I love good food. I love good smell. I love everything. I embrace. So I love this. This is such a mood. It's a mood. It's a good mood. We in a good mood. Okay. Let's review. Awakened. Look at them. They're waking up. They're little skeletons. They have those like cloths over them, like when they have like saints that are buried, and they always have those cloths. Sackcloth. Is that what that is? Fire. Very Ace of Wandsy. But you know what they say? Sometimes they say Ace of Wands is an erect member. Let's just say it. And then love. Follow your love. Follow your bliss. And embrace. We're embracing love this week. Maybe we'll embrace an actual love. Get that love embrace going. That's what I'm talking about. Holla if you nasty. All right, guys. I'm feeling good about our week. Feeling real good. You don't often get this good of a hand there. Know when to fold them, but not this time. All right. Much love, je t'aime, mon chers.